Yeah, I just noticed they're all over there. I'm just gonna get a few. Yes, please. I mean, for anyone who'd like that. Yeah, thanks. So welcome, everyone. It's good to see you. My name is Twesigye, and I'll be offering some reflections and space for practice today. I'll just say a few words before we sit in silence, mostly. And I was just reflecting this morning about refuge. So in Buddhism, we have these three refuges: Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And depending on which kind of tradition or lineage you're within, they'll be described differently. But typically, the Buddha is referred to as the historical Buddha, or the potential for awakening within each of us, or just the fact of awakening, what is already awakened here and now. And Dharma is often pointed to as the teachings of the Buddha, or the practice of the Buddha's teachings, or nature, or the truth, the living Dharma that's here now. And Sangha is referred to the community of awakened beings across time. The monastic and lay community that have brought these teachings forward over millennia, and then the practice communities that we're within today, here and now, physically connected to and perhaps just living here on the globe. And so these are considered the three jewels, the triple gem, refuge, places we can orient our mind and heart to rest, to find nourishment, to find energy, to find safety, refuge, home. And, I was just thinking about being here today, and we're all in very different places just in our lives, and certainly in relationship to what's going on in the world. And refuge is one of these kind of pillars that I think anyone across traditions, religions, no tradition at all, can touch into this feeling of home. And so I just wanted to offer a reframing, perhaps, for this space of refuge, and then maybe time for silent reflection on Buddha, Dharma, Sangha being maybe reframed and held as like Buddha being perhaps the kind of the dignity that all of us have, and reclaiming that, letting it be known, whether it's being denied to us or we're complicit in systems of violence that we do not wish to be. So how do we reclaim that dignity? That could possibly be Buddha as a reflection. And then Dharma being this wisdom and care, these ethical ways that we would like to move in the world together. And Sangha being perhaps the community of us here and in the world that create space of liberation and possibility together here across time, and what that means to have a community in that way. And so I offer these reflections and really invite us into practice, because as we do practice, we have this opportunity to be here, in this present moment with our body, with our mind, and kind of cultivating this practice of arriving here again and again. So often the heart and the mind moves to the past or the future, but our lives are happening now. The joy we have in this life happens here, now. The grief that needs to be felt is here. And so we don't want to miss our lives. And so in our practice, we can cultivate this practice of coming back again and again, so we can be present for our lives, be present for one another, and the possibilities that we'd like to bring. And so just inviting space to reflect on refuge, coming home, what that might mean for you, what world we would like to create in the practice of being here and now in ways that imagine that future, actively cultivating hearts of wisdom and care. How do we express that now? Even it's an idea for the future, we have to live into it, because now is all we have. And this practice of meditation allows us to practice being here, feeling here, expressing here. So, welcoming you into, some quiet time to be with the body, be with the heart, be with the breath, as is supportive for you. Releasing unnecessary tension in the body, allowing whatever remains to be there, to be known. Inviting the heart to be receptive, caring for whatever's here. Whether it feels beautiful, whether it feels challenging, developing an interest and care for the moment. How is refuge alive? noticing if the mind wanders, to gently invite it back again and again with care, cultivating care as you cultivate presence. Noticing where your attention lands in your relationship to knowing whatever's in your awareness. Inviting interest and care, noticing habits and patterns, enjoying what there is to enjoy, caring for what's difficult. What is refuge for you? What does it feel like? How is it created? A space to land, to rest. A space of wisdom and care, maybe even courage. May this inquiry, this time of practice, plant seeds or nurture the refuge that's within and amongst us. May it be a cause and condition for the liberation of all beings, everywhere, without exception. Thank you for your practice. And before we end, I wanted to invite your voices into the space of anything that came up for you around refuge, what it might be, what it might feel like, the possibilities you see it offering for you and for community. So if you feel moved, you can raise your hand and a mic will be brought around.
In this moment, some reflections are coming up again around some readings that I had and some experiences around. We read Thich Nhat Hanh's, some pieces around Thich Nhat Hanh for one of our classes, and he has this famous line, you probably know it, like if we're looking, I might get it wrong, but it's like something, if we're looking for peace, peace is within us. And I was just thinking of this experience that in moments of distress and confusion and worry, how oftentimes there is actually very accessible, this peace, if I just look and call it to mind, this kind of ground of being alive. I'm here. I'm, in most cases, not actively dying. And even when I think that things are falling apart, I actually have a lot of ground And so just reflecting on that through their invitation.
Thank you. Yeah, in the busyness of our lives, we can, lose track of that piece that's already here and available. So thank you for that reminder.
I was reflecting on the words that you shared and admiring the way that you were able to so seamlessly deliver them in a fashion that was causing inspiration and reflection in my being. And on reflecting in how you spoke, I was having thoughts of the power of the voice as a space of refuge in communities where people often, perhaps, or we as beings, have an idea of what refuge is, or an idea of how we can help, and the mind tries to fashion it. And feeling what refuge feels like in my body. It feels like a breath. It feels like a presence, like a wind. And how in our speech, delivering that speech to the present moment where it's needed and allowing that authentic voice to arise is a space of refuge, I feel, and allows then these communities to grow in strength when the authenticity is there and the leadership from each person is there to come with their breath and their refuge.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, for me, I think the place that I find refuge is my body. So coming to terms with my body. But at the same time, there was a lot of confusion because the body is politicized. So on one hand, the gender, the color, and everything that's on my body is politicized, while on the other hand, I choose to take refuge in it. So yeah, there was a tension and confusion.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like a reclamation in that.
Thank you so much. At some point late into this meditation, I got a very strong and visceral sensation of being held. And so I'm thinking about that because I felt really safe and refuge, and I can't go around asking people to hold me throughout the day, sadly. But I should change that. That's right. Yeah, let's normalize hugs. That's right. Yeah. But it's making me think about finding refuge in and from others in ways that are a little bit that can be immediate. Sometimes it really is a hug, or maybe it's something else. But it comes. The source can be from a different person, and I think. I think we can lean on that as being part of communities with people.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So much of. So much is telling us to isolate, to pull away, that we are responsible for our own care and well-being, and we can't do this alone. So I'm glad that you have that sense of finding care in the external as well. Thank you.
Well, I just wanted to echo what you both were saying, because I felt the same way. You said refuge, and I kept thinking of me as my most safe place, while I'm not safe in my own body, not because of my own, but then about thinking how many more people don't have safety in their body, but I can become safe for them in the middle of so much uncertainty and lack of safety, to become a refuge for myself and those around me, to be that refuge, to just for 1 second give somebody and myself that feeling of safety and that feeling of belonging and of refuge. I think it's just enough to get us to the next moment and the next moment, like to know that at least one person can be safe, me, and then whoever is in front of me. I think it's a really powerful, not just reclamation, but resistance too.
Yeah.
Just becoming refuge when maybe there is no refuge around.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's reminding me in that the Buddha spoke about how when we become safe, we offer safety in that very act. And so, yeah, I hear that so much in what you're saying. Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you all for gathering today, for practicing, for offering your presence and your words. Yeah, be well.